morning sun where the flowers bloom, colors burst like a painter's dream come true. Roses red and violets blue, every petal whispers something new. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Indoor greens and outdoor scenes, design your space, let your garden dreams glide. Personal touch with our garden design, free sessions to blend within your budget line. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Now everybody, let's say hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you, just for you. In the morning sun where the flowers bloom, colors burst like a painter's dream come true. Roses red and violets blue, every petal whispers something new. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Indoor greens and outdoor scenes, design your space, let your garden dreams glide. Personal touch with our garden design, free sessions to blend within your budget line. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Now everybody, let's say hello, 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 hello. show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello, plant, and every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, got something for you, just for you. In the morning sun, where the flowers bloom, colors burst like a painter's dream come true. Roses red and violets blue, every petal whispers something new. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello, plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello, plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Indoor greens and outdoor scenes, design your space, let your garden dreams glide. Personal touch with our garden design, free sessions to blend within your budget line. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello, plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello, plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Now everybody, let's say hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello, plant, and every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you, just for you. In the morning sun, where the flowers bloom, colors burst like a painter's dream come true. Roses red and violets blue, every petal whispers something new. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello, plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello, plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Indoor greens and outdoor scenes, design your space, let your garden dreams glide. Personal touch with our garden design, free sessions to blend within your budget line. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, plant. Welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello, plant. And every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, got something for you, just for you. In the morning sun, where the flowers bloom, colors burst like a painter's dream come true. Roses red and violets blue, every petal whispers something new. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and...
Welcome to our bargain bonanza, and what's it called? This one? It's the rise of the
savings.
yeah. And what we have this week is the rise of the savings, and this week the savings get real. So the savings get real this week. So what we're going to be doing is seeing some real savings. We should bring the whole bucket of Jack Maples in. It looks much better. And bring in the bucket of birches too. And so the first thing we've got is Japanese maples. Everybody loves Japanese maples. And we've got these amazing Japanese maples. They're almost 5 foot tall. And a great start to a Japanese maple. Instead of paying $29.99, you're only paying $11.99. And here they come. We've got buckets of them out the front of the nursery. And they're 5 foot tall. Beautiful 2-year-old Japanese, best quality 2-year-old Japanese maples I've ever seen. You can grow Japanese maples in a pot, grow them as a bonsai, grow them as a garden specimen, and look at these ones here, and here they are, bare rooted, and they're $11.99, and look, they're a good 5 foot tall. So $11.99, best bare rooted special in Melbourne, $11.99 Japanese maple.
Chris, we have got Jessie Takes Flight, who's joined us on Instagram, and Jessie says, "Can't wait to see your plants."
Cool, no worries. We've got a good lot today. Now here we've got the old mop top Robinia, and anyway, what this is this is a wild sort of Robinia here, and they've grafted on the mop top on the top. This is going to go in. You plant this in your garden, and what's good is that give it 1 year, the trunk will be thick and the ball will be a good metre round. You'll have a beautiful big, this is the fastest, it's the fastest way to make your house or garden look established is a mop top Robinia, and these are reduced from $229 to $149, a real advanced tree, 2.5 metres tall, nice thick stem. That'll make, and you'll find by Christmas you'll have a beautiful advanced tree in the front garden for $149.99, and hardy. Wind, heat, drought, it takes the works. Now, if you want to plant, if you've got a nice big property and you want to plant a plant that's going to be good for the generations, good for your grandkids to sit under, this will grow within 5 or 6 years. Your whole family will be able to sit under this as a beautiful leafy shade tree. And this is a Moreton Bay fig, beautiful luscious foliage, reduced from $249.99 to $199.99. Beautiful tree. These are rare, they're hard to get. Moreton Bay figs, absolutely fabulous. That's one there. That's a sort of a tree that you're really planting for your children and for your grandchildren. A beautiful evergreen tree, and I can see, you know, in 20 years you see a whole extended family could sit under this and have a picnic.
Now, Chris, how's this for theme appropriate? Blaze Weston has joined us on TikTok.
Hi, Blaze. Hey, howdy, partner. Right, so here we've got a weeping willow. It's 2.5 metres tall. Stick this down by the dam or down by the creek or down by the river, and you'll have a fabulous, beautiful weeping tree in no time at all. So beautiful, beautiful classic tree to put out on the farm. Weeping Willow, and they are reduced from $99.99 to $42.99. And here we've got a Japanese elm in an 8-inch pot, and these are normally $39.99. This has been reduced to $16.99. Your Japanese elm, we'll see, they'll come up here in a sec. Your Japanese elm, beautiful tree, lovely fine foliage, fast growing. What I love about Japanese elms is if you plant them somewhere where a lot of trees sit around for a couple of years before they take off, your Japanese elm will take off this spring, and they grow like crazy, and they have beautiful, let's see if we can see a Japanese elm here, but they're a tree with beautiful foliage. There's your Japanese elm there in autumn colour. So it's a beautiful spreading tree. It's the sort of thing you could plant up and down the farm driveway and have it arching over the top in just a few years. Fast growing, just as beautiful as the Japanese maple, but fast growing. It's fast growing as like a desert ash or something, and really, really tough, but really, really pretty. And these are only $16.99 for a Japanese elm.
So Chris, it looks like everybody's into the live stream and getting settled, so I'll say welcome everyone to another exciting Growers Direct flash sale brought to you by Hello Plants. I'm Jody. I'll be here with Chris and you for the next 2 hours, answering your questions live, highlighting our amazing plant deals and walking you through everything that you need to know to shop today's sales.
Yes, and we deliver. You can buy online, you can buy over the phone, you can come in store and buy. And if you spend over $300, we deliver for free over most of Victoria, out to Terrelgan, up to Shepparton, out to Bendigo, and out to Ballarat. Free delivery when you spend over $300. And here's a real wonderful classic tree. This is your ornamental date palm, beautiful tree, and you give them plenty of water. They're quite fast growing, and they call it a Canary Island date palm. These are normally $39.99. We're doing these for $29.99. So put a beautiful feature palm in, tough as anything. Put them out in front of your house, out in Bendigo or something like that. Take the heat, take the frost, and $29.99. Now here's a Washington palm. Now your Washington palm is great if you haven't got room for the ornamental date. Your Washington palm is a much smaller, much less spreading tree, much neater kind of tree, very lush and green, beautiful feature tree to have. Plant them as an avenue up the driveway. Very, very hardy, plenty of water, they grow like crazy, not too much water, they survive forever. At any rate, so your cotton palm, these are reduced from $50, and they're a good size. Look at the size of that, reduced from $50 to $29.99, so $29.99. So here we are, it's our Grower Direct flash sale, rise of the savings. So bring on some more savings.
Chris, we've got Abigail who's joined us on Instagram and has asked, when does this sale end? Is it only for today? Thank you.
No, it's not. What it is it's on now. You could ring up now and buy. You can go online right now and buy. But the whole lot is on a page online. If you go to this Scan Me thing here, and you'll go to a page online, and you'll see 100 specials there, and they're available until sold out or until lunchtime next Friday. So sell out first or lunchtime next Friday. So you can keep on buying and buying. Now what we have here is a lilac. And this one here is Sweetheart. It's a fairly new variety, and it's a beautiful pink one. So it's not your classic lilac coloured lilac, but a beautiful pink lilac. Have a look at that there. Look at that label. Now, what's interesting, these are a really hardy tree and great for a cut flower. Beautiful. They grow quickly. They're very, very prolific. And great for a cut flower, and sometimes people have problems with them sucking. So the way to stop them sucking, here's the graft down here. What you do is you bury the graft 3 or 4 inches under the ground and they won't suck it. So, but rather than dig them in too deep, prefer if you mound it up around them, but bound up around them and they'll be sucker free. Lilacs, beautiful sort of classic kind of tree to have in the garden. Now what do we got here? No label. What is it?
Alice Eastwood.
Alice Eastwood. Alice Eastwood is an old-fashioned lilac. It's a beautiful, beautiful classic blue lilac. Fast-growing, tough, and the lilac, as well as having beautiful flowers and being a wonderful cut flower, beautifully fragrant. I remember my mum used to cut these and bring a big bunch in as soon as they started flowering in springtime. And it would fill the whole lounge room with the most fabulous fragrance. So lilac, and this is a classic, it's Alice Eastwood. and this lilac here is $29.90. What is else? Yeah, $26.99. So $26.99 for an Alice Eastwood lilac, and also that last one, the Sweetheart, was also $26.99.
Now, Chris, we've got quite a few people have joined us on TikTok. Hannah Baker has said, huge fan, Chris, love your work.
Thank you, Hannah.
And Campbell has said, he's still kicking. Campbell, he's all guns blazing today.
Yes, that's right. I'm still really kicking. And I have been around for a while though.
So now we're up to Corylus.
So here we are, Wandon Pride, a Wandon Pride hazelnut. Now your Wandon Pride hazelnut, that's a really big hazelnut. It's one of the biggest around, really big one, quite a prolific producer, wonderful one to have. And so your Wandon Pride hazelnut reduced from $79.99 to $44.99, really good sized plant. And these you know, like a bit of good soil, a bit of a sheltered spot, and they're a beautiful tree even without the nuts. They're really, really attractive multi-stemmed tree with a lovely round leaf, very lush and beautiful. So hazelnut, Wandon Pride hazelnut, $44.99.
Now we've got Ennis who's joined us on Facebook, and Ennis has said you can ask Chris some questions about plants, and that's absolutely correct. That's what we're here for today.
That's right, yeah. I can answer your plant questions, and we have a whole Monday session where I'm serious. I'm not wearing this cowboy outfit. Not that I mind wearing a cowboy outfit. So here we've got a Pinkabelle apple. A Pinkabelle apple reduced from $89.99 to $54.99. Now what's great about this Pinkabelle apple is it's a miniature apple. And what you find with these miniature apples is not only do they not grow too big, but instead of putting their energy into growing more wood and more leaves, they grow more fruit. They're very, so your miniature apples, very fruitful. And this is your pink apple, but in miniature form. A small apple and a miniature tree, and very productive. And Pinkabelle apple, $54.99. Now here we have, this is one of the great specials of this week, $59.99, beautiful olive. Now some people do indoor olives. You could do this fella indoors, you could do it in the al fresco, you could make a hedge out of him, you could put a feature tree out the front, you can toporize them and turn into a beautiful cloud prune feature. This is a wonderful olive tree, and I've never had such good olive trees for such good prices. This olive tree here reduced from $79.99 to $59.99. Look at that size of it. A lot of people are going to be putting property on the market this spring. The interest rates are going down, things are looking up. Property going on the market this spring, $59.99. You cannot go wrong.
Chris, Clarissa Sanderson is on TikTok and has asked, can you grow fruit trees such as the Pinkabelle apple in a pot for smaller backyards?
Yes, you can. Use a good sized pot and it'll be great.
Excellent.
Okay, so here we've got the Del Morocco, and this is a beautiful olive tree. Now this would be a wonderful olive tree for a hedge, for a pleached hedge, for a topiary. This particular one has fine dense foliage. It's a bit bushier, a bit denser than most other olives, so great. It's a one that'll produce fruit, and it's a good multi-use fruit, oil or for table, but it's also very ornamental. So plant a windbreak, plant a screen, do some pleaching, do some topiary. This is a fabulous one. Grow it in a pot, fabulous olive, and look at it. It's nearly 6 foot tall. And it's $59.99. You can't go wrong. Now this is the day for olives, and here's the deal of a lifetime. This olive here, very closely related to the
Kalamata?
What's the main?
Kalamata?
Very closely. It's the cousin of the Kalamata. Beautiful big olives, and it's called Athena's Choice. A very wonderful special olive brought in from Greece, where the great olives come from. And this one here, this Athena's Choice, is only $12.99. So a nice 3 foot olive in an 8-inch pot, and $12.99. So the savings just got real. Olives, beautiful big olives for $12.99. Yeehaw! So here we have it. This is a fabulous thing. This is a dwarf elephant heart. Now this is the biggest dwarf I've ever seen. It's 6 foot tall, but this will be smaller than your normal plum, an elephant heart plum, and it's been reduced. Your elephant heart plum has been reduced from $89.99 to $54.99. So $54.99, and that'll might throw 1 or 2 plums this year, but certainly in the next year this will be loaded with plums. You'll be able to gorge yourself with beautiful elephant heart plums.
Chris, we've got Aman who's joined us on TikTok and has asked, any mango trees that will tolerate Melbourne weather?
No. Another 50 years of climate change and we might be right.
Absolutely, 2040.
Yeah, so here we are. We've got a dwarf pear tree. Now I think to make a dwarf pear tree, I think they graft them twice. It's an amazing thing. So he's been grafted down here, and then they put a compatible one on here, and that's how you get a dwarf. So it's an amazing thing, double grafted. And this is the first double grafted tree like this where it's got 2 understocks basically, which is it's basically a botanical wonder. And this is called a Red Princess Dwarf Pear, reduced from $89.99 to $64.99. So $64.99, and it's a beautiful red pear, like a beautiful red pear, double grafted and miniature. So this is your chance to get one of the rarest and most difficult things to get is one of these double grafted mini pears. Now, maybe you've got a beach house, maybe you've got a factory, maybe you want some sort of a hassle-free plant, something big and bushy that you don't have to water, you don't have to worry about, something that you put out there and it kills the weeds around it. And here it is. This is a tall blue agapanthus, reduced from $26.99 to $14.99. So $14.99 for a tall blue agapanthus. They have big flowers like that, they grow nice and bushy, and they're kind of an Aussie classic product. They're the sort of thing great to put around the factory, great to put around the farmhouse, great to put around the country property. Grow a hedge, grow them as a feature. Really, just plant them and forget them almost anywhere in Victoria. And these agapanthus reduced to $14.99 for nice big bushy 8-inch pots.
Now Chris, for anyone who's just joined us, if you want to get hold of some of these bargains, it's simple as tapping the pinned comment at the top of any of our social chats, or you can scan the QR code that's up on the screen. That will take you straight to our website where you can start ordering your favourite plants right now. These plants are heavily discounted, as you've been hearing if you've been on here for a little while. They're well below market prices, but only available in limited quantities, so don't wait. It's always, as always with these flash sales, it's a first come, first serve.
Yeah, now this is a great little grass here. This is a beautiful grass. Now if you were spending over $300, you could have this grass delivered to your door for free over most of Victoria's, all the way out to Traralgon, right up to Shepparton, all over the place. We're delivering these out. We're delivering this sort of stuff out for free. And these are great for making a modern garden. It's called Frosted Curls. Carrick's Frosted Girls, very tough, reduced from $12.99, and $12.99, most nurseries you'd be paying more, you'd be paying $14.99. These have been reduced down to $6.99, so $6.99 for the beautiful Frosted Curls.
Now Aman's obviously enjoyed the advice that he's been getting here today, and he has shared the live, so thank you very much, Aman.
Yeah, now look, if you've got a friend that needs some cheap plants, if your friend's garden needs jazzing up and you want some polite way to sort of show them the right direction, you could connect them up to us right now, and you could have your friend experiencing the rise of the savings. So here we have Carrick's Oppressor. No, it's not. This is Dianella Breeze. So here we have the Dianella Breeze. And this is, now you could be doing up a house to put on the market this spring. Maybe it's a modern sort of a house. Look at this for $8.99. Put half a dozen of these into your garden and it'll come to life. You know, so if you're, a lot of people are going to be putting, with the interest rates coming down, they'll be putting houses on the market, and nice big cheap evergreens like the olives and the camellias and like these Dianellas here now's the time to come in and get ready for your spring sales, because in spring the plants will be smaller and more expensive because they tend to run out through the winter, and these are really good big value for money at $8.99. Now here we've got up on the screen Dioides grandiflora. This is a fabulous plant. This plant here is tougher than an agapanthus, but what I love about these is they have these beautiful white flowers with a little bit of yellow and blue on them, and they start flowering on about the 15th of September, sort of like after the last big snowfall. They pop out, they start flowering, and they flower through till about the end of May. So where the agapanthus only flowers for 6 weeks, these flower for more than 6 months. So really tough. So for your factory, for your beach house, for your farmhouse, for that tough spot, you can't go wrong with these up and down the driveway, along the fence, all over the place. Dioides grandiflora, and these ones here reduced from $12.99 to $8.99. So here, right, this is Festuca Beyond Blue, and these are great value. These are reduced from $6.99 to $3.99. $3.99. There's only 60 of these on the market. These would be great if you wanted to make you can mass plant these and make a big patch of them, or you can make like nice little rows of them around the edge of the garden. They're a long-lasting, super tough, heat-loving, drought-loving plant, and the bluest of all is your Beyond Blue, and 3-inch pot, $3.99. You cannot go wrong. Now these are Elijah Blue. Now Elijah Blue is the neatest and smallest of your blue fescues, and doesn't seem to seed or do terribly much. Nice, small, neat little plant. And your Elijah Blue 6-inch pot reduced from $13.99 to $6.99. So $6.99, you can't go wrong with Elijah Blue. Now I had a chap ring me up first thing today, and he was filling up a water garden. Now lots of people with new developments have to do water gardens. It's a thing that you run the water on to kind of get rid of it without causing erosion. And I suggested these ones here because these are one of the best plants for a water garden, a wet spot, a difficult spot, wet feet, and it's called a knotted clubrush. It's an Australian native, and these are nice big bushy ones, $3.99. So you might have some sort of unit development or something like that, and you want something tough that'll take a bit of wet feet. It's your knotted club rush, reduced from $5.99 to $3.99. Now here we have your Liriope Muscari. Now this has blue flowers on it. And it loves a shady spot. So if you want to fill up a shady spot, beautiful blue flowers, lovely lush green foliage all year round. It's evergreen, and these are reduced from $29.99 to $19.99. So $19.99 for 8-inch pot Liriope. So that's a nice big size Liriope, not a little tiny one, and they are only $19.99. So here we have Mondo Grass Variegated, and these are reduced from $13.99 to $10.99. So $10.99, and these are a beautiful plant. Like I use these in my garden designs all the time because they're so light and bright, like, so if you've got a shady corner, a dark corner, a dull corner, maybe you're planting a dark purple thing like a purple pixie, and you want something bright to sort of light it up. Well, this is it. This is your, have a close look what a nice plant that is there. So here we are, we're at the Grower Direct flash sale, and it's our the rise of the rise of the savings. And at any rate, so partner up with me and get some of these. Now what we've got here is this next one here is that these ones here only $10.99, and then Society garlic, some nurseries charge a fortune for it. We've got these ones here for $4.99. Now the Society garlic has beautiful purple flowers. Now sometimes I get people and they want a border, but they want a border they don't have to trim. Well, Society garlic doesn't need a trim. Beautiful lush green foliage, beautiful purple flowers for 5 or 6 months of the year. Really, really tough. Grow it in a hot, dry spot, grow it in a difficult spot, even grow it in a wet, swampy spot. It'll grow almost anywhere. And these ones are reduced from $6.99 to $4.99 for a really nice little society garlic. So there we are, society garlic, long flowering, great border plant, and at $4.99 you can afford to make a society garlic border. Got a tray of those? Right, okay. So here we have your Carpogrotus hot pink, reduced from $12.99 to $5.99. Now what happens, hopefully we'll see that up on the screen shortly. Your hot pink Carpogrotus is one of the toughest. They're starting to flower just in the last week or so, and they're going to flower right through till the end of September, and they get covered in these beautiful purple flowers like you see here. And this is the toughest thing. Grow it on a sand dune, grow it in the desert, grow it anywhere. It'll cover the ground, and all through the winter you'll have beautiful purple flowers. One of the toughest ground covers that you can possibly get, and strangely enough they're edible. Watch this. I haven't had lunch yet. Tasty. So if you're lost in the desert and you come across a Carpogrotus, you're in luck. Now here we've got a pig's ear. Now my dog likes pig's ears, but I'm not going to eat these ones. So here we are, we've got, this is the pig's ear. It's a lovely, now pig's ear, beautiful silver succulent, and I see these in the most desolate and terrible places. And also some succulents die in the frost. This one doesn't die, this doesn't die anywhere, I don't think. It doesn't die in the frost, the heat, the dry, the drought, anything. It's as tough as any cowboy you'll ever come across. So pig's ears, normally $15.99, they're $6.99. So $6.99 for beautiful silver pig's ears. So here we've got the Canary Island ivy. Now Canary Island ivy, sometimes I get customers and they want to get a tropical look in the pot, you know, and I'll plant these together with other plants, and they've got their great big leaves, give you that lovely tropical look. Or you can plant a whole nature strip of them. You can plant, I did a garden design this morning. We'll put 40 of them onto someone's front lawn to give that sort of classy green Toorak look. But beautiful plant, lovely luscious plant. Grow it as a pot plant, cover the wall, grow it on a pergola, or grow it on your nature strip. One of the best, most versatile plants. And it's funny, if you go at the back of Hollywood, it's also one of the commonest plants. It covers whole people. The movie stars have planted acres of this stuff on steep slopes and stuff. Very good. Like what it does, it'll bind a whole steep slope or an embankment together and make it lush and green. And these Canary Island ivies reduced from $29.99 to $19.99. So $19.99 for beautiful, lush Canary Island ivies.
So Chris, just as a reminder for all those people that have tuned in, how can people order with us today?
Well, you could ring up and say, give me some of that Canary Island ivy, partner. Or you could go online and you could buy it. Not quite as exciting probably. Or you could come in. You could come in this weekend. You know, we've got the biggest, bushiest, fullest nursery anywhere in Victoria. There'd be hundreds of thousands of plants here. I mean, these bargains we've got here, just a few of the bargains you'll find if you come in. So you could come in here, you could have a great time, make it a day out this weekend.
Bring your dog.
Yeah, bring your dog. I sometimes carry a little bit of kangaroo in my pocket, like a lot of good cowboys do, for people's dogs when they do come in. But anyway, what we've got, so yeah, so you can come on down, you can go online, and you could get on the phone and order up big. And then if you spend over $300, you've got free delivery. And the other thing is, we also do, like this weekend, have we got any bookings available this weekend for garden designs, free garden designs?
We do have a few spaces left.
Okay, so what we're doing, with the cold weather, normally we're booked up. You'd have to book, you'd have to book normally, like in spring, you'd have to book 3 or 4 weeks ahead to get a garden design. But right now, there's a couple of spaces available for the free garden designs. You pay a small deposit, you get it back when you buy your plants. but there's a couple of spaces available, and you could come in, get a free garden design, and you could say, Chris, I want to use all them things that you got on cheap at the moment, and do a real cheap garden for me, and I can do that. I can put together, I can use the bargains that I've got, give you a real cheap garden design, and so free garden design and free delivery, and we've got available spaces this weekend. So you could come in this weekend and get a free garden design, and then take advantage of these bargains with a beautifully designed garden.
We do these garden designs on Mondays and Fridays as well, so if you're busy on the weekend with sports, we've got plenty of room on Monday.
Yeah, now what we got here is a very interesting little thing. This is a Heuchera, and it's called Eye Spy. Now Heucheras, we've got, if you come here, we've got all different coloured Heucheras. This is quite an interesting little one. It's got like a really interesting little leaf. Now this would love to be in morning sun and afternoon shade. You could grow it happily in a pot. You could pop it out in the garden. So beautiful little Heuchera, and it's called Eye Spy, and it's been reduced. Eye Spy is reduced from $19.99 to $12.99. So $12.99 for your Eye Spy Heuchera. Now cotton lavender. This is the lavender with the little yellow buttons. Lovely, really, it's the silverest lavender of all. It's maybe the toughest lavender. I see these growing in gardens without any water at all. Grow it as a hedge, just grow it as a beautiful individual plant. Throw one into the cottage garden and really enjoy that silver foliage and yellow flowers. And these have been reduced from $9.99 to $6.99. So $6.99. Now, it's a funny thing. These are called Saxifragas, but we were trying to write an advertisement, and we fed it into ChatGPT, and it changed it to Sexy Frogs. so anyway, so you can make up your own mind. Are these Saxifragas or Sexy Frogs? So here we are, and we've got a great little Sexy Frog video out at the moment. On the internet, so you could Google sexy frogs and find out all about them. But these ones here, they've started flowering about 2 weeks ago, and they're going to flower right now till the end of September, maybe into October a little bit, depending on the weather. And they grow beautifully, like they grow the size of a dinner plate, and they're going to, another couple of weeks, they have 3 or 4 times as many flowers as they've got now. They come in all different colours. We're going to show you all the different colours. And I bet you if you pop down to your local nursery, these will be $14.99 or something crazy like that. We've got these ones here for Saxifragas, $7, reduced from $14.99 to $7.99. Perfect, beautiful plants. And we've got them in some beautiful colours. This one here, I'll give you another look at it. This one here is lime, and it's the softest green. It's a beautiful one. Beautiful lime, a lime sexy frog. So there we are.
So Chris, that questionable taste has joined us on TikTok and has said, I'd love a garden design, but I'm in Western Australia.
Well, we can do one. And unfortunately with the interstate ones we do charge, but I'd love to do one for you. It will be a challenge for me.
But why don't you give us a call on 039 359 3331 and we can maybe organise a session for you.
Now what we've got here is a Picotee Saxifraga. Have a look at this. And this has beautiful red and white flowers all over our sax. Now a person could put, these are only $8 each. I think we've got 5 different colours. So for under $40 you could get the works. Get the absolute works. Get all those different sexy frogs there. So here we've got a pink sexy frog or Saxifraga, and here's the beautiful pink Saxifraga. Have a look at that one there. Lovely soft pink, would be a beautiful one to have in the garden, and it is $7.99. So for $40 you could go online and get the whole collection. Now here's a beautiful rich red. Here we are, and this is only just starting to flower. Give this a couple of weeks, it'll be covered in beautiful red flowers. So beautiful red flowers, $7.99 for our sexy frog. And here's the most popular one. This is the one that we always sell out of first. White. Look at the beautiful clear white. Look at that. And it goes so nice. And so if you've got one of those classy white and green gardens, you can pop these in as a border. They love a bit of shade. They're wonderful plants. And $7.99 for the white Saxifraga. Now, what we've got here is your lime lava. So lime lava. Now, lime lava, also you'll notice we're doing a promo, and we've actually called this Zen Moss, because you can do the most beautiful Zen style gardens with this. So it's the most beautiful plant. And what's fantastic, most mosses shrivel up and turn brown and go terrible in the but this is a tough one. This loves the hot sunny condition like us cowboys. It loves to be out in hot sunny conditions. So this will grow in the hottest, sunniest spot. And we've got these beautiful big 8-inch pots. Now down at your local nursery, go and price these ones here. I've even heard down at Manning's Hardware, they've got these ones here. And they charge, where are we? Blue Chalk Series. They charge nearly $14.99 for a 6-inch pot. Now we've got these beautiful big 8-inch pots for $14.99, and if you put them into a big pot, they'll be this big in just a matter of months. So there we are, your Zen moss for your Zen garden. Combine this with a nice Japanese maple or a nice dwarf pine tree, and you'll make the most beautiful Zen garden. And these are $14.99.
So Chris, we've got Hannon who's joined us on TikTok and has said hello.
Hello, Hannon.
And on Instagram, we've got Rosemary Tudiska who's asked, what plant could I put in front of my fence? It's a small dirt patch which is next to the nature strip. It has to be low maintenance.
I'd go for a variegated society garlic.
Nice.
So that, and what I like about the variegated society garlic is a beautiful stripy leaf. In fact, I think, do we have variegated society garlic over there? Is that it there? It's not it, is it? No, we'll see. A variegated society garlic, beautiful stripy, green and white leaf, and then 6 months of the year, lovely lavender flowers. Now here we've got up here on the screen, we've got chalk sticks, and we've got the 6-inch pot chalk stick, and reduced from $6.99 to $3.99. So $3.99 for the 6-inch pot, for the 3-inch pot chalk stick. And these are a beautiful fashionable thing. You can use these, like if you're doing a big landscape, and I planned out something like a great big leafy Gaimea lily, and if you put these around the base, it's sort of, they're bright silver blue, causes people to focus their attention on that particular plant. So it's a great thing, great support act for a feature plant in a modern landscape. And have a look here, this one here is the one for that out the front of her fence, that little patch of dirt, super duper low maintenance. You can forget to water it, you can forget to fertilise it, you can forget to trim it, and it'll look terrific. Variegated society garlic.
Excellent. So Rosemary, I hope you found that helpful.
Right, so here we are. Now what we've got here is a Chinese wisteria. Now, when I was young, I read about Japanese wisterias with giant flowers, and there was all sorts of wisterias. I got terribly excited. I imported a whole collection from England, grew them all for a couple of years, and decided that my favourite was the one that was already common in Australia, was your Chinese one. And what's great about your Chinese wisteria is that when it flowers in springtime, it's got no leaves. So all you can see is flowers. The flowers are magnificently fragrant, and the flowers aren't as big as the Japanese ones, but there's more of them. There's so many flowers that some wisterias, you can't even see them for flowers. They're just covered in flowers. That was actually my backyard a few years ago. So anyway, and then beautiful fragrance, and then the great thing is you've forgotten about the flowers, you're in the heat of summer, and all of a sudden the flowers start popping here and there, and it has a beautiful second flowering. So anyway, one of these ones here, normally they can be a bit expensive. These ones here reduced from $49.99 to $24.99, $24.99. Get them in. And you can do two things with these. You can plant them and grow them over a pergola or grow them over something, or you can put a pole in the ground and put a cross on top of the pole and run them up the pole, train them out on the cross and to make them like a weeping cherry. You know, they can sort of, and sometimes people ask for wisteria trees, and that's how you make a wisteria tree. The trunk never becomes hard, so you always have to have a pole there. You put a cross on the top and it'll spread out across the top. So there we are,
Chris, we've got Karen Webster who has joined us on TikTok. She has sent you a heart. And Chris, Karen has become the #1 fan in the fan club.
wow, thank you.
And Karen's asked, how can she buy this wisteria?
I think #1 fan will drop one off for free. Just send us your address. I needed a fan.
So now, if in order to get these bargains today, whether that's the wisteria,
I think that's could be not only my #1 fan, it could be my first fan.
ah, there you go.
Yeah.
In order to get some of these bargains, Karen and anyone else that's interested, you can click the link at the top of our social chats, or you could scan the QR code that's on the screen, and that will take you straight to our website where you can see all of the plants that are, all of the bargains on our Bonanza page for today. You can click through the cart online, or if you're really keen, you can either come down here and see us, or Chris, I don't know, I think it must have been some of those what did you call them? The frogs?
Oh, sexy frogs.
The sexy frogs. The phones are running hot.
Wow.
There must be a bit of competition there.
Yeah. So what we've got here is the white pratia. Now, the white pratia doesn't flower in the winter, so there it is, not much flowers. It's like a little green moss, but in summertime, look at that. It's spring, summer and autumn, covered in beautiful little starry white flowers. It is a beautiful thing to grow around your pavers, to grow as a border in the garden, to pop them in the cottage garden, even grow one in a hanging basket and have it oozing over the side with little white starry flowers. Wonderful plant to have around the house, easy to propagate. You just get a knife and chop them in half and you got 2 of them. So there we are, white pratia, and out at your local nursery they're probably 13, 14 bucks. Here they're $5.99 at our sale. So $5.99 for a fabulous white pratia. Now this is a fabulous thing. This is a creeping saltbush. Now I use creeping saltbushes all the time. They'll grow in the toughest, most difficult spot you could possibly find. Terrible soil, dry, hot, and you can shape them into a hedge, grow them into a round mound. There's beautiful sculptures that we've got on the website of these. People have sculptured them into beautiful shapes. They're edible. I'm gonna nip into one of these now. They're better with a bit of tomato sauce, but I haven't got any here today. So there we are.
You're really going for that there, Chris.
Yeah, Rhagodia saltbush. Great bit of tucker. When you're lost out in the desert, it's a thing to have. So, but a really, really hardy, it's Australian native, really, really hardy. Grow it as a hedge, grow it as a border, grow it in the toughest spot. If you've got a spot where you don't think you're about to grow anything, grow a saltbush, grow a creeping saltbush. These are nice big ones. They reduced from $19.99 to $14.99.
Chris, we've got Wenkai446 who's on TikTok and has asked, can the saltbush grow in the shade?
Yes.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, we've actually got a, there's some beautiful sculptures of saltbush growing up on the edge of Sydney Road out near the Bunnings Hardware up there, on the opposite side of the Bunnings Hardware. Amazing sculptures to have a look at, and they're all under the shade of gum trees and things. So they're doing beautifully in the shade up there.
Yep.
And they're I think some council workers got very artistic and just turned them into great sculptures. It's worth driving up Sydney Road to have a look at them, just before the Bunnings on the left.
That's right, and that's the Joe Sullivan Reserve. Joe Sullivan was a stalwart of the Craigieburn community.
Oh, right,
yes.
Okay. Okay, so here we've got birthday candles. Now, birthday candles, we've got a video going berserk at the moment. We've got little birds in the birthday candles, and the birthday candles are just covered in flowers. It's probably one of my favourite Australian natives. They grow a metre or so wide, they go half a metre tall, and they have the most heavy crop of beautiful flowers. Really wonderful thing to have, birthday candles, and very, very hard to find. You know, go online, see if you can find them anywhere. We're one of the only nurseries that have got them, and we've got them for $46.99. $46.99. Give that a year, and it'll be covered in beautiful orangey flowers and make a wonderful display in the garden. And birthday candles for $46.99, a great buy.
Now, Chris, I did miss this comment before, but don't forget Karen. When you were talking about the Pratia, Karen said it's better than grass.
Oh, it's fantastic stuff.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thanks, Karen. Okay, thanks for the support. Okay, so what we've got here is, I think this is one of the longest flowering plants that we sell, and it has a beautiful little pink daisy, and it's a cutleaf brachyscome, and it's a beautiful hot pink. Have a look at that. Now, if you go down to your local nursery, and these are a good sized plant, you can see them like that. Good sized plant. As good as some people have in their 6-inch pots, but they're only 3-inch pots, and because they're in a small pot, they're cheap. These ones here, you've got produced from $6.99 to $3.99, so $3.99. So you could afford to plant a border or plant a big patch of them and have hot pink flowers for most of the years. Really good value. Put them in the cottage garden, put them in the native garden. Great value for $3.99. 6-inch pot Japanese box. Now, this is a product that's starting to run short. You'll never get them this cheap again. These are $6.99. $6.99, and these are your Japanese box. They have the beautiful bright coloured new foliage. I'll show you that new foliage. Have a look at that beautiful new foliage on it. So really much brighter. Now, if you wanted a box hedge that was big, tough and fast, you would use Japanese box. So Japanese box for a box hedge that's big, tough and fast. And it's interesting, if you go to Adelaide, it'd be hard to find any English box in Adelaide, but you'll find everywhere. Adelaide is pretty hot, pretty dry, not great soils, and Japanese box is everywhere. So in a tough environment, Japanese box will thrive. And these are only $6.99, and they're a really decent sized plant. These would be the cheapest Japanese box in Melbourne. And if I plant 3 or 4 of these to meter to make a hedge. If you want to make a hedge of Japanese box, you will never get a better deal. Now, palmatum. So here we've got Clivia, and these have been reduced to $12.99, and these are not your ordinary Clivia, these are your Belgian hybrid. They're the one that has the shorter leaves, the wider leaves, and the bigger blooms. These put on a magnificent show. Have a look at this. These are the sort of flowers that they have here like that. Look at that. Now, what's good about these, look at the size of these. Look at, they're absolutely enormous plants, and they're $12.99. They're reduced from $16.99 to $12.99. These are the biggest, best. Now, Clivias, you grow them in the shade. They hate the sun, but they thrive in the shade. These are the biggest and best Clivias I've ever seen for $12.99. So $12.99, and they're of a size that they're sexually mature, and they'll be flowering this spring. So $12.99 for enormous, not common Clivias, but your Belgian hybrid Clivia, the best Clivia you can get.
So Chris, those of us in the trade, we would normally, I don't think I've ever seen any in a pot this size, this big. I think we're usually paying about $22 trade price. So that's amazing. Yeah,
it's an incredible price. Yeah, like people around Melbourne, we import these from northern New South Wales, but around Melbourne, these would be in a 10-inch pot, and they'd normally retail at 40 or 50 and wholesale for $22. So these are enormous plants for only $12.99. Belgian hybrid Clivia, amazing orange flowers, fabulous plants in the shade.
Now Chris, Karen is on TikTok and has asked, where does she find these specials online?
Well, it's this here. Scan me. Go here, and you'll scan this and go there, and you'll see there's 100 specials all set out. Today's sales all set out online. Every one of those specials that I'm doing today, and they're going to be available until sold out or until next Friday lunchtime. Yep. And what happens? We just rip the whole thing down at Friday lunchtime, and there's a new exciting range.
Don't you shoot them down?
But yeah, that's right. We shoot them down, and we start our bargain bonanza again. So and it'll be a fresh lot of bargains.
So Karen, that QR code will take you straight to the sales page that we've got set up for this grower sale.
Okay. Now here we've got. Now who was my first fan again? Was that Karen?
Karen.
Yeah. So don't forget, she's got the free wisteria.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so we need to make a note. You need to claim that free wisteria, Karen, as my first fan. And only fan. Right, so here we've got the Pacific Sunset. Now look into this. Now it's an interesting thing. The sun was popping out the other day, and I'm driving to work, and there's a garden that I'm quite proud of that I designed in my street. At any rate, and the sun just hit, and they've got a hedge of this. So it must have been 10 or 12 years ago. I designed a hedge of this into the garden, and I drove past the hedge, and the sun was glinting on it, and the hedge was fabulous. 10 or 12 years later, beautiful, bright colour, and I did it. I did the garden with lots of greens, and then this red hedge, and just the sun catching it as I drove to work, it really reminded me what a wonderful source of colour this can be in your garden. So this here is a Coprosma, which is a New Zealand native, and this is one of the nicest ones. It's called Pacific Sunset, and it's probably the hardest one to get. We thought the whole industry was out of them. We looked everywhere, we couldn't find them. Our customers were desperate for them, we couldn't find them anywhere. They wanted them in the garden designs. And I stumbled across a patch in a nursery, a great big nursery, and they hadn't got around to putting them up online or anything. And I bought the lot, and I've got 800 of these now, and they're the only ones in the industry. So if you need this fabulous source of colour, fast-growing, tough plant in your garden, these ones here reduced from $32.99 to $29.99. Beautiful, healthy plants, and a great source of colour. And the colour lasts for year after year after year.
And will grow in the toughest conditions.
Now, this is only a short. The grower. I begged him, and I said, "Give me that deal that we used to do on the English box." And I said, "It's cold and it's terrible, and nobody's coming into the nursery anymore. I need to have a real deal." And just for a short time only, he's given me these for $4.99 retail. Now, most guys can't even buy them wholesale for that. That's $4.99 is below the wholesale price. So. And that's $4.99 GST inclusive. I don't know how we've done this, but they're $4.99 English box. Plant 5 to the metre, but there's never been a better time to do an English box hedge. Like, I reckon when spring comes, if I've got these cheap, they'll be $6.99 in spring, and maybe not even quite that big. So $4.99, crazy price, better than wholesale. And actually, we've got a lot of real bargain bonanza things there, because this is our bargain bonanza. This is so we've rounded up. We've gone out into the fields. We've rounded up some specials, and this is another unbelievable special. This is Tom Thumb. Now, Tom Thumb is like your super tough English box. If your ground's a little bit salty, if it's a little bit hot, a bit of terrible soil at your place, I remember. Years ago, we used to sell a product called Box Oz, and I said that if it died, I'd replace it if you bought it. Anyway, so what happened is that some people got them and they bought a batch and they all died, and then they'd buy another batch and they all died. And whenever they bought 2 batches and they all died, I'd send them these. And I remember there's one guy had a bit of salty country over in South Australia, and he killed 2 lots of Box Oz completely, and then I sent him one of these, and then for years later he'd ring up and buy another 100 or 200 of these off me, because these, in a hot, salty, dry spot in South Australia, absolutely thrived. And so, and I've had similar experiences in other parts of Victoria. There was a customer in Shepparton who got a lot of these off me, and they survived where English box didn't survive. So in the sort of spot where you're having trouble with English box, this is the one to have Tom Thumb. And normally they're a $12 or $14 item. These are $5.99 for Tom Thumb, and Tom Thumb have quite a lot of it. They're extra tough, and also the other thing, where your English box can discolour in the winter cold, these will not discolour. These do not discolour. They stay green all year round in the toughest of spots. So there we are. Yeehaw! Bargain bonanza. the rise of the savings. Now anybody can, if you scan this one here, you can be at our bargain bonanza, and there's a great little video. We should be showing that video here today, shouldn't we? So anyway, there's a great little video where we actually have a shootout, with a famous competitor called Mannings.
Mannings, yes.
Yeah, Mannings, and they died in the fight.
Oh no.
Yeah. And here we've got a wonderful little special. This is Hebe buxifolia, and what it is, this is the Hebe that looks like an English box. And if you've got a classic style green and white garden, you can do an English box style hedge with this. And in springtime, it's covered in beautiful white flowers. So a wonderful plant, Hebe buxifolia, 7-inch pot, normally $24.99, now only $16.99. So beautiful, healthy plants for $16.99.
And look at the size of those compared to your average English box. I mean, that one, I'd go for that any day of the week.
Yeah, and it's like an English box with white flowers.
Beautiful.
Now here we've got Laura Pedalum Bob's Pink in a 7-inch pot, normally $24.99, reduced to $12.99. This has beautiful spidery pink flowers in springtime. I'll just show you this label here. Have a look at this here. Beautiful spidery pink flowers. Laura Pedalums are classy. It adds instant class to your garden. Instant class, beautiful, healthy plants. And these ones here, your Bob's Pink, $24.99. Actually, what are they? $24.99 down to $12.99. Now, Plum Gorgeous is probably the richest colour of them all. You can trim these into a beautiful round ball. You can toperize them, grow them into a cone. They're beautiful, healthy. They're one of our top selling plants in the nursery, normally $34.99. We've reduced these ones now to $29.99. Now look at the colour and look at that label. Look at that colour. Look at the label, and look at that. See, look at that beautiful plant. And they're $29.99. That's the cheapest we've had these in years. So Plum Gorgeous Laura Pedalum, the richest colour Laura Petal of them all, and it's not a big tall grower, so it's easy to keep down to a nice shape.
So Chris, we've got user Alphabet Soup has asked us, where are we located?
We're located like in an industrial wasteland called Campbellfield. and I came here, even though I love it out here because it's got energy. It's a place where there's lots of energy, lots of industry, lots of things. It's a happening sort of a place. And I chose this spot because it's the most central spot in Victoria. Like, this is kind of like all the freeways sort of meet here, and so a person coming in from Shep or coming in from Benalla or coming in from Port Melbourne or coming in from Eltham, it's real easy. It's the easiest spot in Melbourne to get to. Like, millions of people have easy, quick access to here. We get customers in from Shepparton, Ballarat, Bendigo. It was the best decision I've ever made in my whole life. What happened was one day I looked at the Melways. That was before that, it was a long time ago. I looked at the Melways and I saw in the middle of the ring road there was another road going off. I looked at that, so it was Hume Highway. It was the old Hume Highway, and I thought, wow, that's right in the middle. That'd be real easy for everyone to get to. And I came out here and I found an empty paddock, and I worked with the owner of the paddock. We developed this nursery, and here I am, sort of 30 years later. I think it's the best spot for a nursery in all of Melbourne. I still reckon it's the best spot.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
Yeah, right in the heart of a fabulous industrial wasteland. But if you kind of want to get a picture of where we are, we're about 5 or 10 minutes from Tullamarine Airport. Yep. So real close to, and so a lot of people, they'll go to the airport, pick somebody up and pop in on the way back or something like that. So we're on a lot of people's airport runs, you know. And at any rate, so what are we up to now? We're Plum Gorgeous, Dwarf Nandina. Have a look at the colour here. Now these, what's great about Dwarf Nandina is the hungrier they get, the colder they get, the more out of fertiliser they get, the more you neglect them, the redder they get. They get beautiful. Look at that red foliage there. So fabulous red foliage. So the meaner you treat them, the redder they get. And they just grow into a beautiful round ball. And I remember my dad had a farm up in New Gee, and he planted them up the driveway. And in the middle of winter, when it was icy cold, you go out there and there's just two beautiful red stripes up either side of his driveway. It looked absolutely fantastic. I think he planted 2,000 or 3,000 of them out there. So dwarf Nandina reduced from $5.99 to $3.99, and it's a good, it's a 3-inch pop. You get a real decent plant for that. Look at this plant here, $3.99. So could be that you're doing a bit of a unit development, or you know, doing a bit of a property development, and you need some cheap plants. These ones here for $3.99, you couldn't go wrong. So dwarf Nandina, $3.99. Now the other Nandina is your Moonbay Nandina. Now I think that the Moonbay Nandina looks good in a modern, more modern sort of a landscape. This is your Moonbay here, and this is mass planted out in front of Eastland, Doncaster Shopping Centre. We videoed this one here, and beautiful texture, beautiful colour, fabulous plant. And these ones here, $3.99, $3.99 for Moonbay Nandina. How could you go wrong? Now, what we have here is our Snow Pearl Indian Hawthorn. Now your Snow Pearl Indian Hawthorn, it grows, these have never been clipped, never touched by human hands before, never been clipped, and they're the most beautiful round ball. Look at this round ball here, look at that there. So if you wanted a low maintenance, low plant, just a lovely round ball in the garden that's going to be covered in fabulous white blossom at springtime, this is it. It's your Snow Pearl Indian Hawthorn. So beautiful Snow Pearl Indian Hawthorn, covered in white flowers, fabulous thing, and it's only $59.99. Now you might be putting a place on the market this spring. A lot of people are doing up property, finishing off properties that they've got under development because the interest rates are going down. There's a lot of activity in that area, and this would be a fabulous thing to pop along the front of the house or fill up a garden bed with. You know, space them a metre apart, $59.99. It's going to give you that sort of finished off look in the garden. So $59.99, Snow Pearl Indian Hawthorn, and really, 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 really tough. And these are the biggest and best Snow Pearls I've ever had for that price.
Chris, Peter DeMeyer's dropped into YouTube. He said, hello Chris, have just seen that you're online and love your videos. Have you shown any green yacht rocket yet? Please tell me the pros and cons, as I'd like to make a box hedge with roses behind the green rocket.
Grab a tray of green rocket and we'll put some green rocket on. So we do requests here. So here we've got little tiny Snow Pearls. Now, if you didn't want to spend $59.99, these ones here are going out for $21.99. So $21.99, and they'll only take a year to make a lovely round ball. They're going to make a beautiful round ball without you doing anything. And then in springtime, they're going to be covered in fabulous white blossom. So we've rounded up some of the best bargains here. This is our bargain bonanza, rise of the savings. And here's some real savings, $21.99. And here we've got another wonderful deal. And for the next, put these up here. Just for today, I'll make these ones $7.99. I think they were $9.99, and these are Green Rocket. Now, Green Rocket is very, very tough. I've sold it lots of times to people who have had failed English box hedges, you know, particularly when they're north of the divide. It's a bit hot, a bit salty, whatever. Failed English box hedges, this is the answer. And and they're beautiful and green. Look how beautiful and green and lush that is. Look, it's a fabulous plant. But basically what I do is, if somebody wants a really low hedge, I sell them a Tom Thumb. And Tom Thumb is just as tough as Green Rocket. And if they want a slightly taller hedge or a faster hedge, I sell Green Rocket. So Green Rocket I think is more lush than Tom Thumb, and it's tougher and it's faster, but it's not what I use for a little low one, but it's great for a taller or faster growing hedge. And just for today, but what was his name? It was
that's Peter DeMaio.
So Peter, just for today, I'm going to do these for $7.99. So you can ring up and get them for $7.99. Beautiful 6-inch pots. You'll feel like you're shoplifting getting those for $7.99. So here we've got Syringa Lemon Honey, a beautiful Australian native. It has the most beautiful flowers. Have a look at this. Look at this beautiful flower here. So this is a very interesting foliage. Look at the foliage there, and look at the flower, beautiful foliage. And these have been reduced from $24.99 to $21.99. So a beautiful exotic rare native for $21.99. So here we've got Gold Fuchsia. Now Gold Fuchsia were $8.99 and now $5.99. So $5.99. Now this is a great plant to grow as a hedge. Grow it as a hedge. Grow it as a plant. You put it in the fernery. It loves the shade, and it gives you. And when it's cold in the winter, it turns a beautiful dark purple. So a great source of winter colour. They grow. You can trim them. You can keep them down 3 foot tall. You can grow them up 6 foot tall. They grow beautiful and thick and bushy. They'll grow in the sun and they'll grow in the shade. And it's Strobilanthus Gold Fuchsia reduced from $8.99 to $5.99. So $5.99 for Gold Fuchsia. So here we have beautiful big pink diosmas. Now these pink diosmas are going to be, I love the smell of them. They just come up on the show. I love the smell of the pink diosma. Now these make, if you want to make a hedge, and if you want a hedge say that's between 1 metre and 2 metres in height, pick your height, cut it to that height. These make a beautiful hedge with lovely soft green foliage, and then they're covered in those lovely starry little pink flowers for quite a few months. The flowers are just coming out now, and they're going to flower well into spring. You've probably got about 3 months of flowers on them. So pink diosma, 8-inch pot, nice big ones, reduced from $24.99 to $10.99. So $10.99 for pink diosma. Now these are a fabulous deal. These are, you know, Cheeky Willow reduced from $29.99 to $12.99. Now these are amazing. In springtime the new foliage comes out, and it's a mixture of white foliage and pink foliage and green foliage. White, pink and green. Look at that there. Absolutely amazing. Stunning. And you can trim them. You can cut them into a round ball. Cut them into a hedge. Do whatever you like. Train them up into a standard. But the Cheeky Willow, and they are reduced to $12.99. A spectacular, colourful foliage, and it's a pink and white and green variegation. $12.99. Now I love this. This is your winter heath, and what's lovely about this heath, it's a beautiful low spreading heath. So it grows probably 1 metre wide and only about 25 centimetres tall. So beautiful white spreading heath. And $13.99 down to $10.99. So $10.99 for a beautiful white spreading heath. Right, so here we've got the Princess Lavender. Now Princess Lavender, lovely silver foliage and a sort of a beautiful pink flower. I'll give you a close-up of that flower. The flower is quite an exquisite pink. Can you see that there? Yeah, and see that there? Yeah, so beautiful pink flower, lovely fine foliage, fabulous thing to have. And your Princess Lavender reduced from $29.99, and these not little 6-inch pots. A lot of stores you'd be $16.99 for a 6-inch pot, but these are beautiful big strong 8-inch pots, and they're only $16.99. So this is our Howdy Partners. This is our grower Bonanza, and it's the rise of the savings. So welcome to our rise of the savings, and here's some fabulous savings here. This is Lavender Javelin Fort, reduced from $29.99 in an 8-inch pot. Beautiful big plant covered in flowers. Have a look at the label here. Look at that there. Beautiful big plant covered in flowers, reduced to $16.99. That's what you'd normally pay for a 6-inch pot, but here's a real 8-inch pot, and they're only $16.99 for Lavender Fort.
Chris, we have got so many people on TikTok today. Madison Nash has joined and she's liked the live. So
hello, Madison. Get your friends. If you've got a friend that needs a garden, get them onto us too. Yeah, we need more people coming to our lives. So here we've got a dwarf lily pilly, beautiful bushy plant. Now, there's a bit of a problem with lily pillies in Melbourne. There's some bugs that are getting into them, but this variety here is called Ackmena smithi, and they do not touch the Ackmena smithi. So you'll find your Ackmena smithi is bug-free. It's bug-free, and these ones are reduced from $12.99 to $6.99. So $6.99 for a beautiful bug-free lily pilly. So here we have the fire screen lily pilly. Now your fire screen lily pilly is a tall, fast-growing lily pilly. Again, the bugs don't worry it. It's as tough as anything. And in springtime, when it really gets growing, it's going to have lovely red tips on it. And these ones here reduced from $32.99 to $16.99. So $16.99 for fire screen lily pillies. So here we've got your Sublime Lily Pilly, reduced from $39.99 to $19.99. So Sublime Lily Pilly, that's the best price. Beautiful big plants, lovely. Now your Sublime Lily Pilly, bug free. The bugs, the psyllids don't go for it. The beetles don't go for it. If it has a berry, it won't stain because it's a white berry. It doesn't have very many berries anyway. But if it does have a berry, the berry is white. It's not a staining red berry. So it's a nice clean plant. And the main reason why people go for the Sublime, apart from the fact that it's fast growing, it's thick, it's bushy, is it has no red tips. So the tips are just a lovely lime green. So beautiful, thick, bushy, tough, disease bug-free hedge with fast growing and with all green. So it's all green, just like a ficus, but without the terrible root system. So all green, and these are $19.99. That's a really good price for your Sublime Lily Pilly. Now here's a great little deal here. This is your Callistemon Packer's selection. So our old mate Mr. Packer selected this one here as his favourite Callistemon, and it's only and it's a good sized plant. It's the size of a 6-inch pot. Now normally a 6-inch pot Callistemon is going to cost $16.99, but this one, Packer's selection here, beautiful red flowers, lovely foliage. This one here is only going to cost you $4.99. So if you need a cheap filler in your native garden, or maybe you want to grow a hedge, maybe on a country property you want to block out those neighbours, you couldn't go wrong with these at $4.99. Tough, beautiful red flowers, fabulous Packer's selection, $4.99. Now here's a fabulous deal. This is now you might be putting a place on some property on the market, and you need some big cheap evergreens. This is an Edna Butner, which is a beautiful single pink. It's a Sasanqua, it's sun hardy, and I'm 6'2", and it's over my head. And this Edna Butler here is reduced. We've got to change that price. It's reduced to $59.99. So $59.99. All of those 10-inch ones are $59.99. So if you go to the website in about 10 minutes, they'll be $59.99. And this one here, Edna Butler, a fabulous classic Sasanqua, going to flower all through the winter. And now let's look at our next one. Now, we've done a couple of videos about Heuchera. Now Heuchera is one of my favourite Sasanquas. Look at that rich coloured flower. Isn't that fantastic? What a beautiful flower. Now Heuchera is reduced to $59.99, and it's nearly 6 foot tall. So a beautiful big. You could at your local nursery for a nice 5 or 6 foot camellia, you could be paying $120. And the thing is, at $59.99, we've got a few of these. You could plant a hedge of them. You could plant 10 of them or 20 of them in a row and block out the neighbours and do it on the cheap. Or maybe you're putting property on the market for the spring market. These would be fabulous. Look at the flowers, look at the foliage, beautiful, and $59.99. So here we've got Camellia Paradise Blush. Now this is one of those special ones from, have a look at this beautiful flower here. Can you see that? Have a look. Can you see that there? So this one here, beautiful flower. I love the pink and white style flowers. And beautiful thick bushy plant. This is one of your modern Paradise selections. and it's and this one here is only $59.99, and look how bushy it is. So if you need a bushy evergreen cheap to fix up your property, if you want a bit of greenery in the garden this winter, $59.99 for a Paradise Blush Sasanqua. Now, this is not a Sasanqua, this is called Yuletide. This is a fabulous camellia. Have a look at that beautiful red flower, that beautiful, I'll see if I can get you close to one of these flowers here. Beautiful red flower with a yellow center. And this, and if you wanted to grow, maybe you wanted a camellia, maybe in the alfresco area, you wanted a camellia as a pot plant. Well, this is the one. This is already quite a few years old. It'll never get too big. And these are $59.99. Really beautiful sized Yuletide for $59.99.
So Chris, our friend Madison Nash is still on TikTok with us and has asked, with the Haruki Nishiku, how long do they flower for and what height do they grow to?
Okay, they grow to 3 or 4 meters, and that pink and white is actually not flowers, it's the foliage, and you got really good color right through to Christmas, and then they start to green up as they grow into the heat.
Beautiful. I hope that's helped, Madison.
Yeah. So here we have Arakawa. So we have the Camellia Arakawa, which is a semi-double. It's a white. It's not quite as fast growing as some Asakura, and this is only $59.99. So $59.99 Camellia Asakura, beautiful white flowers. So here we've got Early Pearly. And this one here is $59.99, and you've got Early Pearly. And Early Pearly, beautiful double white, not quite as big as some of the other ones, not as fast growing, but amazing double white flower, really amazing. So if you don't like those yellow centers in the middle of your camellia flowers, this one here doesn't have it, it's a double white, and it is only $59.99.
It's a very sweet camellia.
Now this is not a camellia. This is a Ficus flash, and this is a real beauty, and it's a 12-inch pot, and it's reduced from $99 down to $79.99. So $79.99, and these are as good, like often in a 16-inch pot for a couple $100 you don't get anything big in this. So these are extra big in a 12-inch pot, and so extra cheap at $79.99 for a 12-inch pot Ficus. That one's terrible. Get another one. That's shocking. Get a bushy, better, the sort of a nice one, yeah. So what we've got here is the fairy white. Now this is a magnolia that you can grow as a hedge, grow it as an individual specimen, grow it a bit in the shade, in the hot sun. Tough, fast growing, and absolutely covered in beautiful, fragrant white flowers. So. This is normally quite an expensive plant, and this one here is this one's quite an expensive plant, and this one is reduced from $29.99 to $18.99. So $18.99 for the fairy white. This is the most sought after of the fairy range. The fairy white, $18.99, thick, bushy, and massed in amazing flowers. Probably the most heavy flowering of any of the evergreen magnolias. So here we have Little Gem Magnolias. Normally they cost $59.99. These have been reduced to $49.99, but they're big in the 10-inch pot. There's not that many of these available, but I've never had a bigger magnolia here for $49.99. Look at the size of that. Look at that. Beautiful, healthy magnolia, 10-inch pot, 5 foot tall, and $49.99. Little Gem, flower all year, evergreen, beautiful evergreen magnolia. Sort of thing, if you're doing up a place to sell for the spring, this is a great magnolia. It'll be flowering in the spring, and it's evergreen. So evergreen and $59.99. Now, if you want to grow a thick bushy hedge, a beautiful thick bushy hedge, this is it. This is Western Red Cedar. Beautifully fragrant foliage. And what's great about this is that some of your cypress hedges, when you cut them too hard, they get a hole in the hedge. And this one here, it doesn't matter how hard you cut it, you'll never make a hole in the hedge. It's green and lush, and it'll grow from anywhere you want. So green and lush, beautiful beautiful lush leafy conifer, fast growing and great for making a hedge or border. Do a cypress style hedge, but it's beautifully fragrant, it's lusher, it's greener, it's easier to manage, and it doesn't get any of the diseases that cypresses get because it's not a cypress. And these ones are nice and cheap, reduced from $29.99 to $14.99. They're 3 foot tall, great hedging conifer.
Chris, Madison has asked, Madison's left a comment, needs some ideas for landscaping. Do you guys offer help with that on what plant and what's best?
We sure do. We actually have a free garden design service, and you pay a small deposit. You can get a little tiny 20-minute one or a 45-minute one where you do your normal house block front and back in 45 minutes. We do a garden design, we give you a mood board, you can see all the plants on the mood board, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, and then we do an actual drawing, place all the plants by code, and then give you a quote with a price, and then we can deliver it out to you within a week. So, and that's all works out for free when you buy your plants with us. And there's a couple of spots available this weekend, isn't there?
There's a couple of spots still available this weekend, but we also do it on Mondays and Fridays. If you've got sports all weekend like some people, you can come in on Mondays or Fridays, and we've got a few bookings available on Monday and Friday as well.
So what we have here is a viburnum copper top, and these are in 8-inch pots, and they're reduced from $29.99. These are a kind of an expensive, hard to get type of viburnum, and when they grow in spring, they have beautiful coppery, purpley tops on them. And these ones here have been reduced from $29.99 to $17.99. So $17.99. Whoopee! Bargain bonanza. The rise of the what is it? The rise of the...
Oh, what are we the
The rise of the savings. So the rise of the savings. There we are. $17.99. Yeah. So now here we have a 16-inch pot. Now we've got a few of these, and a 16-inch pot Hill Eye, Ficus Hill Eye Flash, and normally $239.99. They're almost $100 off, $159.99. Big bushy plant like that, $159.99. If you've got a neighbour you want to cover up quick, if you've got something ugly you want to hide, maybe you're putting some property on the market, you just got that ugly old sort of box thing down there, and you want to cover it up. Here it is, a Ficus Flash, 16-inch pot, couple of metres tall, and $159.99.
Chris, Madison's back. She said, okay, beautiful. I'll look into that. Thanks heaps.
Cool. Thank you, Madison. So here we've got sweet viburnum in a 6-inch pot. Beautiful, luscious little plants. Now, if you've got a shady spot where the lily pillies and the ficuses won't grow, a lot of people have got big 2-story houses next door, and they've got these shady little spots, but they need something green and lush to cover up the neighbours. Well, here it is. This will grow 3 or 4 metres tall. If you let it, you can trim it off to 1 or 2 metres. This is a green, lush, sweet viburnum. It has a bigger leaf, beautiful, lush, healthy plant. And I reckon it would only take you 2 years to get a 6 or 8 foot hedge out of this. Plant them about 90 centimetres apart. And these are wonderfully cheap. They're reduced from $14.99 to $12.99. So $12.99 for 6-inch pot sweet viburnums.
So Chris, Aristophania is on Instagram. Hello, Aristophania. Aristophania has asked, can we get a fit check on your outfit?
What's a fit check?
I'm not too sure, but maybe he wants to see a little bit more of your outfit there.
Oh, right, okay. No worries. Okay, so here we've got a 16-inch pot Weeping Lily Pilly. These were $229.99. They've been reduced to $189.99. So $189.99. Now, if you're putting property on the market, or you want to cover up their neighbours quick, for $189.99, there's not a bigger, bushier plant available in Melbourne. So $189.99, fantastic value. Weeping Lily Pilly, $189.99. And do you know, if you put these in, and you really, this is over 2 metres tall, if you put this in and water it and fertilise it really well for a year, you could put 1.5 metres on this, so you could have a 3.5 metre hedge. You could have blocked out those neighbours in 1 year with these ones here, and they are $189.99, reduced from $229.99. I think that's about a $40 saving.
So Chris, can you believe we're already 80 items into this sale?
Yeah, wow.
So if anybody's joined us late, you're not going to miss out on anything because the live stream, it runs while we're live, but once we're finished, it'll be up on YouTube for you to watch again, and all the savings will still be, all the bargains will still be available.
Yeah, and right now you can go back and look at those 80 bargains. Now have a look at this beautiful tree. Look at this fabulous bark here. If you love silver birches, you could love a black river birch. They have the most beautiful bark, they have beautiful leaves, and they're tougher. If you wanted to grow, say you wanted to grow a birch, say you lived in, where would be a place where you wouldn't expect to grow a silver birch? If you lived in Wollongong, Wollongong, a silver birch ain't going to do that good, but a black river birch, like I've noticed, if you drive south in the US, as you go down, like, you know, right down to near Mexico, the people are still growing these ones here and they grow beautifully, whereas the silver birches sort of start to peter out when you get to LA, you know, like that. So basically, as you go north in Australia, if you lived in Dubbo or somewhere like that, and you want to grow a birch, and you're getting to this black river birch, amazing shaggy bark, beautiful foliage, fabulous tree, really popular in North America, not very well known in Australia. And normally they're $36.99. We've reduced it to $15.99. Lovely, healthy black river birches. And also I noticed that if you're in a bit of a swampy spot where they get wet feet, your black river birch is not worried. If it's a bit of a drought spot, a hot spot, very, very versatile.
Hey Chris, did you know that the bark of the birch is an excellent fire starter? So if you've got a campfire and you've got a black river birch or a good, nice, mature silver birch that you've had in the backyard for a long time, you take a little bit of that bark off and go camping.
Yeah, it's like thin paper, isn't it? Like tissue paper. It would burn really, really hot. Great way to get your fire started. I'm sure that's what the American Indians used to do. So here we've got a silver birch, and this silver birch is 5 or 6 meters tall. It's hard to tell how tall it really is. And it's in a 20-inch pot. It's got a beautiful big thick trunk. It's a fabulous tree. Like I said, we've rounded up the best bargains from all around the place, and we've herded them in here, and we're making this herd of bargains available at our bargain bonanza. And anyway, this one here reduced from $3.99 to $219.99. Now the interesting thing, if you were spending over $300, so if you bought 2 of these, and say you lived in Yay, we'd deliver them out there for free.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Or maybe you live down past, you know, down on the beach down there, you know, down past Geelong.
Down Barwon Heads or somewhere like that.
Buy 2 of these or buy 1 of these, and another thing for $100. Spend $300 to get. We'll drive one of our vans all the way down there to your place, and we'll drop them off.
That's excellent value. I mean, look at the size of that tree.
Yeah, yeah.
It's nearly the size. We're in a 2-story building here, and it's nearly hitting the roof.
Yep. So. It's real easy, you know, like over most of Victoria, spend over $300 and we do a free delivery.
Now Karen is back on TikTok and has said she's near Warrnambool. Will we deliver out that way?
We do. We don't go that often, and we go all the way out to Hamilton and those areas there. We charge $120 down that far, but that's still cheap, you know, if you're putting a garden together.
Yep.
We're all the way down to Warrnambool, out to Hamilton, out even to as far as Coleraine.
Beautiful. So Karen, we got you covered.
Yeah, $120 out that far, and we only do it every couple of weeks, so you might be waiting a couple of weeks depending on when it's coming up. Now here we've got silver birches, and these are bare rooted, and they're only $9.99. Now what's interesting, I'm 6 foot tall. This bare root here, it's 4.5 foot tall, so it's a really good sized birch for $9.99. So if you wanted to do an avenue of birches up your country property driveway, if you want to do a little cluster of birches in the corner of your modern architecture type house, if you want a little birch border, here they are, $9.99. $100 you'll get 10 of them, 10 silver birches for $100. That's unbelievable. So there we are.
Chris, we've got PJ555555 who's on TikTok and has said, guys, have many English box?
We've got loads of English box. They're coming up later. They're $4.99 for a big bushy 6-inch pot.
Fantastic, and we had some really good ones on the stream earlier. So if you missed those earlier, make sure to watch the replay. and you can fast forward to
Yeah.
those English box. They're an amazing
Yeah,
set.
even grab a 2 English boxes now. We'll put them up for him right now.
All right, so
We're what they call interreactive, or something like that. Here we've got a capital pear. Now, capital pears, fabulous white blossom in springtime, beautiful lush green foliage in the summer, fabulous red and burgundy, one of the better autumn color pears. But best of all, you can see it here, a beautiful pyramidal shape. So a lovely tall narrow shape. So if you want something that doesn't cover your whole block, if you want something tall and narrow, maybe you want to block somebody off, block somebody out, this is your tree, your capital pear, and here's a monster. This one here would be 3.5 or 4 meters tall, and it's $219.99, reduced from $399 to $219.99. Now if you bought 2 of these and you lived in Bendigo, out the back of Bendigo, we would do this a free delivery. We'd run our van all the way out there with 2 of them and we'd drop them off for you. So there you are. So buy over the phone, buy online, spend over $300 to get free delivery over most of Victoria. Now here we've got 3-inch privet. Now these are the size a lot of people would have in a 6-inch pot. Really good size. Now privet is what I call a property transformer. Plant these, water them, fertilise them, and in 1 year they'll be over 1 metre tall. You can do a 1 metre tall English box style hedge in 1 year. Plant 4 of them to the metre. It works out very cheap at $3.99. It's costing you $16 per metre. So a 50 metre hedge is only going to cost you $80. I think, is that right? 16.50? Yeah, that's right.
Chris, we have got a very good question. So Catherine 0001 is on TikTok. She says, a bit of a long question, asked it before, but think that it was assumed it was a lemon tree, but wondering, what kind of tree or small plant best resembles the smell of a pine tree, loves the smell of pine, but isn't looking for a pine? And I've got the answer.
What's that?
Pine scented rosemary. Rosemary angustifolius.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So a pine scented rosemary.
Beautiful.
Actually, I used to work in a garden where the lady had planted when I was young, planted all different fragrant rosemaries, and there's lots of beautiful smells there. Is it pine scented rosemary?
Yeah, pine scented rosemary.
Amazing.
Yeah, and also I think some of the junipers were probably quite low growing.
Yeah.
But also would give you those pine smells.
Yeah, or you could even get a Swedish dwarf mountain pine.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So here we have Westringia Winyabi gem, and these are reduced from $5.99 to $4.99. Now, if you wanted to grow a native hedge, your rosemary is your best one, and if you put these in on an 80 or 90 centimetre spacing, you'll grow a beautiful hedge. They grow very quickly. You have a nice little hedge in 12 months, a beautiful mature hedge in 24 months, and these cost you $4.99. So $4.99, great value for doing a hedge Winyabi gem, $4.99.
Now, Chris, Catherine is back, says, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you, Catherine.
So now we've got iceberg roses, 2-foot standards, bare rooted, reduced from $29.99 to $16.99. So $16.99 gets you a standard iceberg rose. An iceberg rose, it's interesting, I was driving past the garden the other day, and they had a row of standard iceberg roses, and they were covered in flowers. They're absolutely spectacular right in the dead of winter. If you look after them, if you water them and fertilise them, they flower almost all year. They're unbelievable, and they hardly require just a bit of water and fertiliser, and really no spray. Very easy to look after. Now here we have a 4-foot standard iceberg. Now last year I think these cost $70 each. These are potted, they're into their second year, and they're $49.99. Now if you are planning a wedding this spring, summer, if you're planning to put a place on the market, if you're planning to have the place covered in flowers and looking great, these ones established in pots, 2 years old, really, I'd say by the end of October, with a bit of water and fertiliser, these will be covered in beautiful flowers and looking absolutely unbelievable. You can absolutely transform your property with these, and they're only $49.99. For $500 you could have 10 of them delivered almost anywhere in Victoria with a free delivery. Now look at this. An advanced weeping cherry. What a beauty. This one is called a snow fountain. It's going to have beautiful white blossom. It's going to cascade to the ground. It's never going to get too big. Your snow fountains don't get too big. It's a 1.8 metre and it's reduced from $189.99 to $89.99. So $89.99 for an advanced falling snow weeping cherry. That's incredible.
It's got a beautiful shape on it too.
Yeah, it's beautiful shape, but we've been selling potted ones this size for nearly $300.
Yeah.
So this is an advanced one and it's $89.99. Plant this in a well-drained spot, water and fertilise it well, and you'll have a sort of an heirloom in the garden, a beautiful advanced weeping cherry for maybe a third of the price you'd expect to pay. Now box balls are all the fashion, they're all the rave. This one's been grown up in the country, it's got a bit of cold sort of on it, but basically plant this, give it a bit of a feed, it'll turn dark green in the spring, and where they normally cost you hundreds of dollars, this one here is going to reduce from $2.99 to $99. So $99 for an English box ball. So here we've got a standard Ficus flash, normally $50. These are $24.99. So $24.99, plant them up the garden path, plant them up the driveway, plant them in a pot, plant them on the veranda, plant them on the balcony. They stay green and lush all year. Beautiful value, and at $24.99 you cannot go wrong. So here we've got a gardenia, a standard gardenia. Now plant this into the garden or plant into a bigger pot, plenty of water, plenty of fertiliser, a bit of gardenia potting mix would be great for this. And these have got nice bushy heads on them, really good value, and they're reduced from $69.99 to $49.99. So $49.99, great pot plant, beautiful lush green foliage, fabulous white fragrant flowers, and $49.99.
So Chris PJ555555 has joined us on TikTok again, and he said, I'm lost on what to do. What are we going to do? We've got to get onto this sale, hop onto some of these bargains, and if you want to jump onto the bargains, scan the QR code. That'll take you straight to our webpage where you can find all of the bargains that we've been talking about today. Or there is a comment that's pinned in the top of each one of our chats. Whatever platform you're on, and you can find your way to some of the bargains that we're talking about today.
Okay, so here we have the Yatsubusa pine, beautiful pine tree, fabulous Yatsubusa pine, and these are very, very rare. You could hop in your car and go to a dozen nurseries, you wouldn't even find one of these in. But where I did see a lot of these was at the Flower and Garden Show this year. They were on every second display. They're the height of fashion. And maybe that's why you can't find them in hardly any nurseries. Anyway, I bought up as many as I could get my hands on, and I've reduced these from $269.99 to $199.99. So $199.99. And you've got a very, very rare, beautiful, and this is a lovely pine. You've got that beautiful pine tree smell. This is the one that has the lovely white candles on it, and it'll grow into a fabulous sort of a bonsai shape. And it's going to cost you $199.99. Great value. Buy 2 of these and we'll deliver them almost anywhere in Victoria.
Beautiful.
Got a nice big lush one of these? What? No, okay. So here we've got your foxtail fern. These have just come out of a cold paddock and they're a little bit yellowy, but plant these in your garden and you'll have something big and lush like this in no time. And for your foxtail ferns, they've been hard to get. Normally $36.99 in an 8-inch pot. We've got them for $19.99. So $19.99 in a 8-inch pot.
For anyone who's got a garden they're putting around their pool, they're a great plant to put around the pool because they're neat, tidy. Don't drop foliage into your pool.
Yeah.
They look spectacular.
Yeah, really good to go around the pool. Put them in big pots or put them in those little sort of narrow beds you have around the pool.
And won't interfere with the pool compliance.
Yeah, and kids can't climb them, and they give that luscious tropical holiday feel. Now here we've got Birds of Paradise. Now Birds of Paradise, they cost you a fortune in most nurseries, but here we've got a Bird of Paradise, and it's only $6.99. So check this out, a nice sturdy little Bird of Paradise. Give that 2 years, it'll be chin height on you, and it'll be covered in beautiful orange flowers, and it's only $6.99. Now this is for real. Have a look at this. This is an evergreen hydrangea, and you can tell it's evergreen because it's got leaves. And right now a normal hydrangea looks like a dead stick. We should have another hydrangea here, a non-evergreen. They look like dead sticks. And this has a beautiful little blue flower. So if you want a hydrangea that doesn't look like a dead stick in the middle of winter, you've got these ones here. They're rare, they're hard to get. They're normally $36.99. We've got them for $19.99. For one of these hydrangeas, and it's evergreen, an evergreen hydrangea. This is the hydrangea you've been dreaming about. $19.99. Look at those blue flowers and leaves every day of the year.
So Chris, if people are late to the stream, no worries. The live stream will be available on our YouTube channel shortly after it ends. You can rewatch it anytime and place your order based on whatever it was that you saw and you loved. And don't forget, we go live every Monday with our weekly Q&A. So whether you've got questions about plant care, watering, pests, sunlight, our experts are here to help you grow with confidence.
That's right. And here we've got Ilex, the blue Ilex. And this is a beautiful blue holly, really interesting little plant, reduced from $16.99 to $14.99. If you want to put something rare and wonderful in the garden, a beautiful little blue holly, this is it at only $14.99. So $14.99 for a fabulous blue holly, as sort of a nice little rarity, a lovely little shrub, and it has that deep green foliage and beautiful little leaves on it. So really nice, small, exotic evergreen for $14.99, blue holly. So that's it for today. That's our bargain bonanza. This is bargain bonanza 2, the rise of the savings. And I'd like to thank all my cowhands who helped out rounding up all these specials and putting them out. So thank you partners. And
all right, we've got a question. Well, we had a couple of comments and questions just before we finish. So Karen's just ordered. She's looking forward to her 40 plants coming. Well done.
Wow, and
well done, Karen.
All the way out to Warrnambool.
That's right. And we'll have to make sure that we chuck that wisteria on for Karen.
Yeah, we'll chuck that extra wisteria on for Karen.
So you find a good spot for that, Karen. And Claire has asked, are the hydrangeas in stock in Geelong? Well, we're here in Campbellfield.
No, we're not. You've got to come here.
So Claire, either you could come down here to 1477 Sydney Road, Campbellfield, the old Hume Highway. We're opposite Kmart and Campbellfield, or you could just buy online and we can get it out to you.
Yeah, we'll drop them down to you, no worries.
So thank you so much for joining us for today's Bargain Bonanza 2.
The rise of the savings.
And don't forget, tap the pinned comment on the top of the chat. You can scan the QR code to grab your favourite deals before they're gone. Quantities are limited and they're selling fast. The phones have been running hot while we've been on the sale here. I think there's been a bit of competition, so get in while you can. You can always rewatch today's sale on YouTube. Make sure you watch it before Friday next week.
All the specials are up online. Scan in that QR code and go to the specials, and there's 100 specials. There's 100 specials there waiting for you right now.
Join us on Monday for our live Q&A. And before we go, very quick thanks to Suman, Tez, Jennifer and Mickey for keeping everything running smooth for us today.
My cow hands.
Our cow hands. Your cow hands. I'm part of your cow hands. I'm one of your cow hands. Thank you very much, and we'll be back on Friday for another Growers Direct flash sale.
That's right, and the savings just got real.